Hi guys, there are some conventions that seem to defy logic, and if politicians don't explain what they are, they can result in the public getting the wrong end of the stick or believing that there's been a cover-up or an individual is being protected when they aren't. The Israeli Prime Minister has an arrest warrant out for him, which has been issued by the ICC. The UK is a signatory to the ICC, which means that if the individual arrived in the UK, there would be an obligation on the United Kingdom to arrest him. Who would do the arrest? Well, obviously the police. Who is ultimately responsible for the police? Well, the Home Secretary. But it isn't as simple as all that, and the Home Secretary Yvette Cooper didn't exactly help herself when she was interviewed about this.
First, I wondered if I could get your reaction to that story we've just been running, that the International Criminal Court has issued an arrest warrant for the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, amongst others. The UK is a signatory of the International Criminal Court, so I just wanted to ask if you can confirm that he would be arrested if he came to the UK.
Well, that's not a matter for me as Home Secretary. The International Criminal Court is, of course, independent, and we respect its independence and the role that it has to play. But in the overwhelming majority of International Criminal Court investigations, they never become a matter for either the British legal and law enforcement processes or for the British government. In any case where they ever do, there are proper processes that need to be followed, and therefore it wouldn't be appropriate for me to comment on those. What I can say is that obviously the UK government's position remains that we believe the focus should be on getting a ceasefire in Gaza. We have seen obviously the huge troubles really right across the Middle East ever since the Hamas terrorist attack in October 7th last year, and our focus needs to continue to be on getting a ceasefire in place.
You say that it's not for you to answer the question about whether or not Benjamin Netanyahu would be arrested if he arrived in the UK, but the UK is a signatory of the International Criminal Court. Don't we have to respect its rulings? As I said, we respect the independence of the International Criminal Court. That has long been our case, and we've always respected the importance of international law. But as I've said, in the majority of the cases that they pursue, they don't become part of the British legal process or the British government processes. On those cases where they do, there are important processes that need to be followed, and that's why it wouldn't be appropriate for me as the Home Secretary to comment on individual cases in a speculative way. OK, so you don't want to say whether or not he would be arrested. The Tories are saying that the move by the ICC is deeply concerning and provocative. They've called on you, the government...
Oh, OK, ignore what the Tories have to say. Look, Yvette Cooper could have easily said, and this is how it actually works, it's not up to me, it's up to the police. If this individual arrives in the United Kingdom, there's an obligation on the police to arrest him. That's what she could have said. It's not my job. I know it may sound strange. I know I'm responsible ultimately for the police, but it's the job of the police to arrest international criminals, not the Home Secretary. That's how it works. It sounds strange. It sounds nuts. You would imagine it's the Home Secretary who would say, we have an international criminal on the loose. We have to arrest this individual. But it's not the job of the Home Secretary. It's the job of the police. So in the case of Netanyahu, if he arrives in the UK, it's the job of the police to arrest him, not the Home Secretary. It's also the case there's an ICC arrest warrant for members of Hamas. So if members of Hamas arrived in the UK, it would be the job of the police, not the Home Secretary, to arrest those individuals. Now, I would imagine if the question had been asked about members of Hamas, Yvette Cooper would probably say, yes, of course, I'm going to instruct the police to arrest them. Hopefully she wouldn't say that, because it would be wrong. But she's not helping herself here. I don't understand why she didn't just come out with a simple answer like, it sounds strange, it sounds nuts, but it's not my job. It's the job of the police. I'm not supposed to interfere in police work. I'm not supposed to interfere in the independence of the police. And this is an agreement, if we can put it, between the ICC and the police. So I can't do this. I know it's nuts, but that's how it works. I really don't understand why she didn't say that. Because by not saying that, it projects this idea that Netanyahu is being protected in some way, or that he's free to come here, and I'm not going to arrest him. I'm making a political decision. This is part of the problem here, because when the government are not clear about something, they create a vacuum, and then others can fill that vacuum with their own interpretation. You need to be clear. We saw it with the riots as well. Farage and others were filling that vacuum. You need to be clear. Tell the public, look, I know it's strange. I know I'm ultimately responsible for the police, but it's the job of the police to arrest this individual. Instead of talking about, it's never really happened, and, we respect the independence of the ICC and all of this. This is crap, okay? It is pointless crap. It's true in a sense, but it's crap. What it does is it convinces the public that you're dodging the question, that there's something to hide here. Just be transparent. Just be clear with the public. That's what they need. As I said, if you're not, it will create a vacuum that others will fill. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.